What is going on, Laker fans? Appreciate you guys tuning in. Lakers lose to the Sacramento Kings. Final score 130 to 120. A critical game, a crucial game, and the Los Angeles Lakers, with about a couple minutes left, I mean, they killed it for the first 10 minutes of the first quarter, and then they're pretty much a no-show for the remainder of the game. We got a lot of stuff to get into. I'm going to spend some time talking about just that stretch. What was it? Sacramento. I want to say 17 of 18 from the field, something along those lines. 0 adjustments from the Lakers on the defensive side, from up 19 to down 15. How Sacramento, every loose ball, every offensive rebound, played with an unbelievable amount of urgency. We'll talk about all that. Where's Anthony Davis? This is now 2 out of the last 3 games. I have not felt Anthony Davis. We got to get into that as well. De'Aaron Fox, 44 points on the Lake Show. And then we'll preview the Lakers and the Bucks game. Please do me a favor. If you're on the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate that. Putting up content all the time on this channel as much as I can as far as Lakers go. And certainly as we get into the playoffs, I'll do some more NBA stuff as well. Proud partner of the channel, Underdog Fantasy. In a little bit, I got some picks that I'm going to put in there. Denver plays Boston tomorrow. Already got the 2 players that I want to play, Nikola Jokic and Jaylen Brown. So we'll do that as well. Sammy Long, who is an intern on Hoops Talk, he's going to come in a little bit. He's highlighting all your guys' comments, so I'll do my best to get into that. And if you send in any super chats, we're 100% going to get into that as well. Let's talk about the game. Pretty good start, right? For the first 10 minutes of the game, you're like, hey, feeling good. Look at the Lakers coming out. By the way, they look incredible. To start the game, they were fantastic. Lakers at one point went up by 19 points after D'Angelo Russell hit a 3, kind of hit the front of the rim, bounced in, and Lakers looked like they were absolutely rolling. They were all over the place on defense. Rui Hachimura stepping in front of plays, getting some big-time dunks. Lakers kind of doing whatever they wanted to do. Austin Reeves, everybody seemed involved. LeBron doing what he does. But it's just the first quarter, so you can't obviously feel good about yourself for winning the first quarter. I think was probably the most critical part of the game is when the Lakers went up 19, and then to close out the first quarter, the Sacramento Kings went on a 10-0 run. So 10-0 run by Sacramento. All of a sudden, the Lakers went from you're up 19 to you're only up 9. And just that momentum to close out the first quarter, I thought that gave the Sacramento Kings an incredible boost. So you had the way that first quarter ended, it breathed some new life for the Sacramento Kings. So first 12 minutes are done. It's 37-28. Lakers still feeling, hey, if I'd have told you before the game started, Lakers are up 9 against the Sacramento Kings in this crucial game that was going on, I think every Laker fan would say, yeah, I'm pretty sure I feel pretty good about that. I'm going to sign up for that. But it's how the Lakers went from up 19 to up 9 in such a short amount of time, too. It was probably less than 2 minutes, I think it was. I think that's obviously the portion that kind of sticks out to me, or it really is such a critical piece of the game. And then the second quarter was all Sacramento. Maybe it didn't really have anything to do with the Lakers. You know, you kind of at least believed for a second there. Maybe you thought, maybe Sacramento just had a nice run to end the first quarter, but ultimately Lakers are going to get back into a rhythm, whatever it was. The second quarter alone for the Sacramento Kings, 44-20. So let's add the 10-0 run that the Sacramento Kings went on to end the first quarter. Then let's add the 44 to that, 54-20 in a stretch of 14 minutes. In a stretch of 14 minutes, the Sacramento Kings outscored the Lakers in 34 points, by 34 points. That's insane. So Lakers went from up 19 to down 15. I think, look, this is kind of one of the things that stuck to me from this game. And I'm sure a lot of Laker fans have bad taste in their mouth. I already saw some of the comments. There's already a lot of frustrated Laker fans out there. I get it. I don't blame you by any stretch of the my imagination. But Um, the one thing I think to me that stuck out more than anything else is we all know how critical this game is. We all know, I was listening to the guys at Spectrum Sportsnet right after the game, and um, Chris McGee and James Worthy and Robert Ory, and I kept kind of listening to James Worthy and looking at his facial expression of like, it's disappointing because it's such an important game. There's no way to sugarcoat where the Lakers are sitting right now, and they got no one to blame but themselves. I'm gonna, I listened to Darvin Ham, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. AD, right before I went on, Anthony Davis just finished his presser. And AD had said a couple of things like, he talked a little bit about the foul calls. I heard LeBron talk about the Jackson Hayes offensive foul. Should have been an and one, could have been an and one. I actually wasn't as shocked as other people. A lot of other people, I can't believe that happened. When I initially saw it and I thought that they were reviewing it, I did think there was a chance that Jackson Hayes would get called for, I guess you could say, leading with your knee, if you want to call it. But anyways, Anthony Davis complaining a little bit about the referees, about the foul calls that were on him because he was in foul trouble. LeBron, a little bit of complaining with the refs too. I'm like, geez, here we go again. I don't know. I just don't want to hear that stuff, but I know it happens. But listening to Worthy, and Worthy was, it's such a important, critical game to have that type of a lapse, 54-10 or 54-20, get outscored by 34 points at home. How the hell does that happen? I don't have that answer, but I'm going to try to do my best to describe it. Here are some ways that it happens. Number one, it happens because your squad doesn't play any defense. If you guys heard me last night, I was doing Lakers talk on 710 ESPN, and this afternoon, right before the game started, I'm doing the pregame show. And I mentioned in the pregame show, I kind of simplified it. I just said, look, this game's going to come down to one of two things. If the Lakers have a defensive type of game like they did against the Oklahoma City Thunder, I'm not saying you got to hold them to 104, but can you keep them under 110, 108, somewhere around there? If you do, you probably win the game. If this is a 120, 125, the Sacramento Kings are putting up that many points, Kings are going to win the game. And I thought defense was going to be basically, that's going to be the backbone of the Lakers, or it wasn't. And by the time that first quarter was done, you're feeling good about yourself. By the time you got to halftime, Lakers are down 15, and you're looking at the point totals. What they have, 72 points, I want to say, did the Sacramento Kings have. So clearly things were not going in the right direction. They still put up 32 points in the third quarter. Really didn't need any more points in the fourth, but got you 26 points. So they put up 130. Lakers just had no answers on the defensive side. Forget offense for a second. I know I'm going to talk offense, but this is how Sacramento beats you. They beat you because they are relentless on offense. You score on one end. By the time you celebrate that you just got a bucket, De'Aaron Fox is already at half court, and he's thinking about how to attack you. Malik Monk is already slicing and dicing you because he's just a walking bucket. Kind of reminds me of the Jamal Crawfords, the those type of players that just have the Lou Williams. They have the ability to just get buckets. I thought Spencer Dinwiddie would be that for us. That certainly has not been the case. But they lost this game because they had absolutely no answer on the defensive side. De'Aaron Fox had 44 points, and I thought De'Aaron Fox, there was a stretch in the game. I think I tweeted it third quarter, something along those lines. His go-to move is he sets you up to get to his left hand. And it might have been 3 possessions in a row. He just sets you up to get to his left hand. And every time he got to his left hand, it was buckets. If he's going downhill and he somehow sets himself up to get to his left hand, which makes no sense to me that you don't just stay on that side of his body and just do everything possible to make him go to the right. And even if he hits it with his right hand or he just has to go, just give him a different look. He's getting to the basket whenever he wants. He's getting a 15-footer. He's getting a 10-footer. He's getting a 2-footer. No answer for De'Aaron Fox. He gets you 44 points. How about 19 of 32 from the field? And I wish I saw a shot track of how many of those shots were in the paint, but a lot of them were around the basket. Okay, it wasn't just him. Malik Monk, 26 points, 10 of 19 from the field, 3 of 5 from the three-point line, and had some backbreakers. Him and Davion Mitchell in that second quarter, and even to end the first quarter, big-time buckets. Those two players alone, I'll get into the Lakers bench a little bit later, but basically the Lakers do not have a bench right now. But those two players alone are giving you almost 48 points. Add 7 from Lyles, add another 5 from Ellis. You're at 50-plus points, 55, whatever it is, or actually closer to 60 points is where they were. That's just, it's such a disadvantage for the Lakers. And again, I haven't even mentioned Domantas Sabonis, who had 20 rebounds, 12 assists, couple of steals, and 16 points. I haven't even mentioned Harrison Barnes, who got into double figures as well with 11 points, 5 of 7 from the field. They didn't play defense. If you don't play defense against the Sacramento Kings, you're probably not winning the game. And as critical as that game was, the Lakers walked away. I'm sure they're feeling a certain way tonight. The tiebreaker, gone. So, and I had mentioned this as well, not that this is breaking news. They needed both of these games. They needed tonight and they needed next Wednesday at Sacramento. They obviously didn't get it. So now you look at the Sacramento Kings and you look at the standings. The Lakers are not catching the Sacramento Kings. So now you got to start focusing on other teams, which is fine. I mean, Sacramento, it's I thought to catch the Sacramento Kings who are sitting in 7th, probably not going to happen. But now that the tiebreaker is out of the way, definitely not going to happen. And even if you win next week, you're still basically 4 games back from them just because of the tiebreaker. So Sacramento comes into LA. This is the same Sacramento Kings team. It's a weird Kings team. This is a Kings team that in their last 2 games before they play the Lakers, they won at Minnesota, one of the best records in the Western Conference, in overtime. The next game, they played the Chicago Bulls at home, were up 15, and end up getting outscored by 18 in the fourth quarter and end up losing the game. So this Kings team is all over the place, but they looked damn talented tonight, and they looked like a fantastic team. On the other side for the Lakers, Bron talked a little bit about Bron had 31. Still, that man still finds a way to keep the Lakers in games. He had 31 and 13 tonight in 36 minutes. Here's the problem. Bron said he's been dealing with an ankle issue. I'm going to actually find I listened to him. Let me find this real quick. I saw Jovan Buha asked a question. Dave McMenamin tweeted out. LeBron said his left ankle was starting to bother him late in the game, but added, "I'll be all right." He said the ankle has been an issue for months, but felt fine against OKC and was okay for most of the night against Sacramento. And then obviously under 4 minutes left to play, Bron just walked off the court and decided to leave. So, the Bron piece of this is going to be interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if LeBron, and I don't know, right? I have no idea. I wouldn't be surprised if Bron decides, you know what, I can't go on Friday, something along those lines. I guess he's been dealing with this issue for a while. And for him to just remember before the season started, they said that they were going to try to put Bron between 28 and 30 minutes a game. LeBron's basically playing 35 minutes a night. Let me talk a little about Anthony Davis here because I want to spend some energy on this. AD was just 5 of 13 from the field tonight. There are 2 big men. I want to find one more piece of stat here that I want to use for this. 2 of the last 3 games for the Lakers included matchups against really, really good bigs. Okay? The Lakers had Nikola Jokic on Saturday in the Denver Nuggets. This is what Jokic did. 35 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists. Just masterful game, dominated the game. Anthony Davis had 17 points and 11 rebounds against him. Okay. Tonight, the Lakers had Domantas Sabonis on the other side. Sabonis tonight. 16 points, 20 rebounds, 12 assists, triple-double. Anthony Davis, 14 points, 11 rebounds. I mean, two critical games where we need Anthony Davis to show up and be a beast on both sides of the floor. And I don't want to hear, about the personal fouls. All right, I one of two things. You got to be smarter on the defensive side or use your challenge if you don't feel like Anthony Davis made a foul or had a foul early on. Whatever the case is, fouls are part of the game. So AD's got to do a better job, or the coaching staff's got to do a better job of scheming and everything else. Of course, he's got to be out there more, played 34 minutes tonight. But in those two games, critical games, Saturday and Wednesday tonight, you needed AD to have big nights, and he didn't. And there's another one coming up. For those that were wondering about Giannis played tonight against the Golden State Warriors. So I'm assuming Giannis probably plays again on Friday. We'll have to, obviously wait and see. But very, very disappointed in Anthony Davis to go 5 of 13 tonight, coming off a game where he went 7 of 13, 17 points and 11 rebounds against Denver. And then tonight, 14 points and 11 rebounds against the Sacramento Kings, 0 steals and 1 block as well. So the Anthony Davis that we're accustomed to, the Anthony Davis that you're going to find him on the defensive side, the Anthony Davis that we've been praising here for a while, did not happen tonight. So that was incredibly, incredibly frustrating. All right, let's get in some of these comments. I appreciate you guys being patient. I know we got a lot of comments here. I know I haven't got into any of them, so let's get into it. Seiko, thank you for the super brother. I appreciate that. Perfect segue here. AD no show when it mattered. Slee, you were right from last show. Cannot outscore the Kings. Lakers scored more threes. Kings out defense. Lakers Ham out coached. Yeah, it's. Listen, certain teams have strengths. I'll tell you what one of the Lakers' strengths are. They like to play a little bully ball. They want to muddy the water a little bit. If they can do that, that's a Lakers' strength. If Sacramento was trying to play bully ball with the Lakers and muddy the water, Lakers probably win the game. If you play tonight's game was Sacramento style. Sacramento up and down the floor. As soon as you score, they're inbounding the ball. They're going the other way. They played downhill the entire time. They're down 19, and it didn't look like it affected them for a second. So with all that being said, yeah, that tonight was their style of game. If I'm a boxer and I all of a sudden am boxing to what your strengths are, I'm probably going to lose that boxing match, and that's what tonight was for the Lakers. Lakers free throws, 25-12. The refs tried. And this is Lakers game. This is what the Lakers do. This is their game. Eduardo, I just don't understand Coach Ham sometimes. So Eduardo, a little bit later, Sammy and I already talked about some of the things that he wants to highlight, and one of that's going to be Darvin Ham's coaching. So I'm going to let him kind of do a little bit more of that a little bit later. Turn the game off midway through the third quarter. Awful performance by the Lakers. You actually had a smart move there. That was a good thing to do. Euro Bigs own AD, Sabonis, Jokic, Nurkic, Sengun, Giannis, Embiid. Might be onto something there. And there's another one on this list that's coming to it's coming to town on Friday. And then, oh, by the way, on Sunday, and listen, AD is he'll bounce back, he'll do what he does, but you got Karl Anthony Towns and you got Gobert. I don't think Karl Anthony Towns played tonight, so we'll see what his health situation is. And then again, you go back to Sabonis coming up a week from today. Craig Osterbeg, Fox plays like a Hall of Famer against us. Well, wasn't much defense against him. I mean, how many times did De'Aaron Fox get to the basket, do anything that he wanted to do? And listen, I respect his game. De'Aaron Fox is a baller. Let's not think for a second that De'Aaron Fox is not a freaking baller, because he is. And he kind of gets to anywhere he wants on the floor. 15-footer, got it. 20-footer, he's got it in his game. get to the basket, draw fouls. He's got every piece to his game. There's other nights you just have an elite night, and tonight he was elite. No answer. We must be the most delusional fans. This team will never win anything until we reboot and trade LeBron and AD. Well, I will tell you that's like David. That's I don't know. I that kind of comes out of nowhere to me that those two are the problem. Got to the Western Conference Finals last year, won an NBA championship with those two players. So I'm confused why that would be your solution to that. Kings erased the 19-point lead, and Ham didn't call a single time out. He's trying to save him. I don't know if Ham knows this, but I can't keep my timeout from the Kings game and use it for the Bucks game on Friday. Just letting you guys know. I don't know if that has been passed on to the rest of the franchise there. Yeah, why don't you call a timeout? Why don't you try to kill some of that momentum? Small ball killed us again. Lakers 0-6 versus Denver and Sacramento, about to be 0-7 next week. Yeah, it's weird. 0-6 against those two teams, yet they're 6-2 against the Clippers and the Thunder. Hey, it's all going to come down to matchups, guys. It really is. It's going to come down to matchups. The problem is for the Lakers is they could find themselves in a position where they need to win 2 games just to make the playoffs. I've said this before. I'll keep saying it. If they're number 10, I do not believe they're going to be playing in mid-April. I don't think they're going to be in the playoffs. That's my personal belief. A lot of people still say, hey, they're still so dangerous just if they get in. I think I was mentioning this yesterday. I'm not I was talking about yesterday that they're 10-4 in their last 14 games. Do you believe? Have they turned the corner? Do you now feel like this is the team that can be very dangerous in the playoffs? And I said, I haven't seen it yet. Go ahead and handle business against the Sacramento Kings. Let me see what you do against Milwaukee. Let me see you against Minnesota. Let's see how the rest of this week plays out. Well, 1 game in, actually 2 games in, so they're 1-1 so far in the week, Monday and Wednesday, and Sacramento obviously gets them. Spencer looks like an old player with the Lakers. Spencer Dinwiddie is making me look bad. I really, really did think that Dinwiddie coming to the Lakers was a nice addition. He has not done anything. What did he end up with tonight? 8 or something like that? What do you have? 8 points, 2 of 3 from the field, but very little impact. Very little impact. Fox got whatever he wanted. No adjustments. Embarrassing. Absolutely true there. Our home court advantage non-existent. Golden State beat Milwaukee. You're right about that. I'll get you guys posted on the standings here. We'll do that in just a little bit. I don't want to do that yet. Let's see what else we got here. Fox was hitting floaters like AD wasn't even there. Usually AD affects those shots, but not against Fox. You're right about that. Literally as if nobody was playing defense. Absolutely right on that one. Okay, my people, let me tell you a little bit about Underdog Fantasy. If you play daily fantasy sports, please try Underdog Fantasy, and please use that code HoopsLA. If you use that code, right here is their offer. You can get a deposit match of up to $100. Put as much as you want in the account, but if you like playing daily fantasy sports, use Hoops code. Use the code HoopsLA and try Underdog Fantasy. Give them a shot. It's very, very easy. Put $5 into your account, they'll match your $5. Put $50, they'll match your $50. Put $100, they'll match your $100. The way the account works, you just go to your pick'em right here. I always do pregame. Pregame is games coming up, and of course, I hit the highlight. I highlight the NBA tab, and once I highlight the NBA tab, these are the games that I get to pick from. I already picked Boston and Denver. And let's just do this here real quick. Nikola Jokic, higher or lower than 25.5 points? I'll go higher. Jaylen Brown, higher or lower than 21.5? I'll go lower. The game's at Denver. I put $20 in. I got a chance to win 3 times my money. It's literally that easy. Obviously, for a sports post-game show, I know there's a lot of people that play daily fantasy sports, enjoy this. So if you do and you want to be a part of it, it's that easy. Just use that code. Hoops LA. All right, let me bring in my brother from another mother, Sammy. As you could tell, I mean, basically we look exactly alike. Sammy, you're Middle Eastern too, right? Should I just pretend that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm adopted. You can adopt me. Part of the
You're adopted. Okay, so first off, Sammy, let's just kind of get your overall thoughts. Everybody a little bit frustrated here. So Lakers lose to the Kings 130 to 120. Give me one or two things that kind of jump out to you from the game.
Darvin Ham. Like you said, I think you can take timeouts to the next game. I'm convinced he gets a bonus if he keeps enough timeouts in his pocket at the end of the year. I think he wants courtside seats. I mean, I don't understand what he's doing. A lot of people mentioned it. Lakers up 19 points, feeling good. This is a good night. Maybe going to get a win against division rival. And then the entire run goes, and he calls a timeout when the Kings are up by 2, 50 to 48. And like my thing with him is that there's no.
Okay, wait. Just so because I think you're right here, and I had somebody put on the comments too about the timeouts. Did he go that long before he called the timeout? Was that how long it was?
People were saying, I believe so. There may have been like a TV timeout with 12 minutes to go, sorry, when the lead was 12. But he didn't call it until it was 50 to 48. And in like my thing, I know we're comparing Phil Jackson to Darvin Ham.
That's okay. You compare. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Phil Jackson didn't care who it was. Kobe, Shaq, Jordan, Pippen. I don't care how much money you made. If your name was on the marquee, how famous you were, he would get after them. I don't care how big the star was. And Darvin Ham's their friend. And I'm sure Darvin Ham's a great guy, and he seems nice in the interviews, and I'd love to have a beer with him. But, you know, it's like LeBron's running the team and AD. I mean, it's just there's no accountability. And you just see it on the sideline, and they cut to him, and it's like, dude, you're supposed to save them from the run. The players aren't going to call the timeout as they should. They believe that they're going to score and get right back in the run. But you need to know that, you know, the team doesn't have it right now. There needs to be a reset and take initiative and call a timeout. And he just won't do it.
It's a good observation. I think that's an interesting observation. And that, by the way, that's the game, right? Up 19 to down 50. I thought I know they were still up 9 at the end of the first quarter. But that 10-0 run by Sacramento to end the first quarter, I thought was just as crucial as any other stage of the game. They got momentum. They got this, hey, wait a minute. We were just down 19. We're only 12 minutes into the game. Yes, we're down 9, but, 9, especially a team like the Sacramento Kings who can drop 130 on any given night, like on March 6th at Crypto.com Arena. They dropped 130. I thought that stretch was critical. So I do feel like you're right about how can I kill the momentum. You actually even looking on the other side, Mike Brown a couple different times in the second half, Lakers would cut it down to 12, and that felt like it was a big deal. Mike Brown, no hesitation, timeout. Like he would just kill whatever momentum the Lakers had.
Yeah, I mean, and then going to X's and O's standpoint, Austin Reeves getting attacked all night. I mean, they literally were
feasting.
Yeah, feasting. De'Aaron Fox, they were handing off ball screens. They were like trying to get him switched on him or Malik Monk, and they would just wait till that happened and then attack him. And another thing, Darvin Ham, what is with going under screens tonight? You're giving one of the best shooting teams in the NBA wide open looks. I understand when teams do that to the Lakers because the Lakers want to play bully ball, as you mentioned earlier. They want to get to the rack. They want to draw fouls. I understand going under screens against the Lakers because you want them to shoot. You daring them. The Kings, one of the highest scoring teams in the NBA, you're giving them wide open looks because you're scared that they're going to get to the rack. I mean, where's the timeout and where's LeBron? Where's the whole team making that a point of emphasis? If you would have told me and a lot of Laker fans for the game, Rui would have had 29 and LeBron would have had 31, you go, oh, great. I mean, AD's not going to have a no-show, and Reeves and D'Lo aren't going to combine for 28 points, and Reeves got most of that at the end. But, here we are.
Well, here's another thing, and I'm going to go to the stats that you were just talking about. If I'd have told you the Lakers were going to hit 3 more threes than the Sacramento Kings, if I'd have told you that they were going to be plus 11 at the free throw line, as in they made 11 more free throws, but they actually took 13 more free throws. And I just gave you those stats that Lakers were going to hit more threes. They were going to kind of go toe for toe on offense with them from the 3-point percentage and really outscore them from the free throw line. How much did the Lakers win the game by? But this is the difference too. Rebounding 46-34, offensive rebounds 9-3 for the Sacramento Kings. And how about points in the paint? 76-50. Lakers get outscored by 26 points in the paint. And a lot of that, which I think was going to go to your next point, is, Anthony Davis was non-existent in my opinion, two of the last 3 big games.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird when you're a guy that's getting paid $50 million and you're asking where he's at on the floor. I mean, it's just, and especially against Sabonis. Like I want him to play well against Jokic. He should play well against Jokic, but at least Jokic is the best basketball player in the world, and that's not a knock on Sabonis. He's a great player, but that's AD rarely gets to be the more physical guy.
Yeah,
but you're thinking against Sabonis, he actually can, because he's just bigger. He's naturally bigger. And Sabonis, I mean, just it was.
So Sabonis has he's a crafty big man, right? He just kind of has such a natural feel for the game. I feel like every time the Lakers play Sabonis and Fox, I'm watching Hakeem Olajuwon and name the greatest point guard of all time. I mean, I really do feel that way. I feel like that's how the Kings kind of are the Lakers, but we already knew that. I mean, I think coming into the game, when you did part of that, just kind of leading up to this game, we all kind of knew, listen, if this is an offensive, if this is two teams just, it becomes an offensive game, that's not the Lakers game. They're going to lose the game. It had to be ugly, muddy the water, and that certainly wasn't the case. Did you have anything else that stuck out to you?
You mentioned it a little bit, but just looking at the stats, I mean, the Kings bench had 50 points, the Lakers had 18. Davion Mitchell outscored the entire Lakers bench by himself.
Oof.
I mean, I don't know how at home. The Lakers are in Los Angeles, and this is happening.
They don't have a bench. That's the problem. Yeah. I mean, they're really, truly is the Lakers they don't have a bench. I mean, I don't know if this is. I don't know what's going to change, unless it's. Dinwiddie starts hitting his shots and Gabe Vincent comes back and Jared Vanderbilt comes back, and you're asking for things that I don't know if they're realistic.
Yeah, I mean, there's positive news on Gabe Vincent today. They think he's going to come back by the end of the month, but you made this point many times. Like, he hasn't played in a long time. Vando, I think, could come back and be himself, because he has, he's played a lot this season. But Gabe Vincent hasn't even gelled with these guys. He's barely played with it. He's played 5 games with this team or something like that. I mean, how is he just going to come in and be himself with the Heat? If he does, good on him. We need him.
Okay, Sammy, great stuff. I know you'll be in the background here taking care of some of the comments. Tomorrow, Sammy will be previewing the Lakers and the Milwaukee Bucks coming up on Friday. I was texting during the show Chris McGee, who does the post-game show on Spectrum Sportsnet, and we're both texting each other that the Milwaukee Bucks are going to look like the 98 Bulls on Friday, because it seems like every team looks like the greatest team ever, even though they got their asses kicked tonight against the Warriors. Like the Chicago Bulls came into Sacramento and beat the Kings a couple nights ago, we'll probably get the best shot of the Milwaukee Bucks. So, Sammy, thank you, brother. Go ahead, Sammy. Say that again. I
said, look at you name dropping on us. You were texting Chris McGee tonight.
Hey, Geeter's my buddy here. I've known Geeter for a long time. Okay, so let's do this. Tomorrow, you'll handle the preview, so keep an eye out for that. And then, Sammy, I'm looking up here. A lot of comments still out here, so Laker fans feel a certain way about what's going on tonight. So you grab those comments, and I appreciate you coming on.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
All right, buddy. All right, man. All right, that is Sammy Long right there. Sammy Long, everybody. Go work, Sammy. Go work. Hardworking man over there, getting some school credit. Okay. Where do we go from here, Laker fans? Where do we go from here? Already did that. Already bitched and complained about that. All right, let me look at some of these comments here. I want to read some of these comments. First time, no. Where is it? First time hearing Sammy. Well done. Good input, Sam. Great job, Sammy. Okay, relax, guys. Relax. I don't want Sammy to get his head, too big here. We have to rebuild. I'm done getting my hopes up. I feel like I kind of tried warning everybody, like, hey, let's just give this a second. Like we've watched the Lakers do their thing. I feel like I was saying that. Can we see a few more of these games before you start getting excited? This is actually the perfect time to do it because I waited a little bit earlier. Even with the Lakers now 10-5 in their last 15 games, here's the reality of where they're sitting. They're number 10. They're 34-30. The Golden State Warriors are 33-28. So Golden State now, a little bit of a cushion on the Lakers. 2 games on the loss column. The Dallas Mavericks were kind of falling apart right in front of us. They've lost 3 games in a row, but they have a 2-game cushion on the Lakers in the loss column as well. And then here comes Sacramento and Phoenix, both 26 losses. Lakers have 30 losses. I don't think you're catching the Sacramento Kings, even if you win next week, unless they have just some great collapse, just because the tiebreaker now goes to the Sacramento Kings. So I think what you're looking at here, and there's still 18 games left, but I think what you're looking at is get the hell out of the 10, potentially do everything you can to get out of the 9. But we'll see what happens. I mean, typically when a team loses 3 games in a row, like the Dallas Mavericks aren't awful. Typically when you lose 3 games in a row, okay, you might have a couple wins under your belt. They take on Miami tomorrow, then they're on the road to Detroit, on the road at Chicago. So they'll have a couple games that at least are going to be on the road, but those are the teams that you're basically fighting with right now. I don't think, it doesn't seem like it to me, that Sacramento is going to be a team that realistically you can go catch at this point. Toughest schedules in the NBA, the Lakers with the 8th toughest schedule left in the NBA. 8th toughest as far as the rankings go. I'm looking on Tankathon right now. New Orleans is 9th. I'm just looking at teams in front of the Lakers. Sacramento is 17th toughest. Dallas is 24th toughest. Golden State 28th toughest. So, unfortunately, a couple of those teams don't have nearly as tough of a schedule as the Lakers do. Do I have any good news? Or am I just going to keep sharing bad news? All right, see what we got here. Lakers had 2 choices. Fire Ham or make some meaningful trades. Did nothing. I never thought they were going to fire Darvin Ham during the season unless it was a complete free fall and they weren't going to make the play-in, something along those lines, or players were actively, trying to lose because they didn't like the coach. And I don't think that was going to happen because he's a likable guy, but he definitely has struggled. His adjustments, his timeout calling, his plan B, C, and D, it's not something that I feel. Would have liked to have seen Spencer's minutes go to Cam, not liking what he's given us so far. Dinwiddie definitely has not been consistent. Dinwiddie really hasn't done much. Like I don't really know what to tell you. He doesn't look comfortable with the Lakers. He just doesn't. All right. Let's see what we got here. Mateo, Slee, 1-on-1, Echo Park, 30 minutes. Got to let some frustration out. Mateo, I played pickup ball for the first time in a long time earlier in the week. I played 2 games. First game was a 13. Second game was up to 11. First off, look, the jump shot just never goes anywhere. Okay? Doesn't matter. I don't care how old I am. I don't care how in shape I am or how not in shape I am. My lazy-ass jump shot still finds a way to get in there. I ran up and down the court like the first game. I think the score was 5-5. I felt like I had ran half a marathon. Game was to 13. By the time it was like 9-8, I was like, guys, why don't we do this? I have 3 timeouts. I want to use 2 timeouts right now. I want to combine 2 timeouts. I want to sit on the sidelines. So, Mateo, if you want to go play one-on-one right now in Echo Park, got to be honest with you. It's probably not going to look good for me. I'm probably going to look like the Lakers tonight. All right, see what we got here. Rec League sleeves back. Come on. Worked at a rec center for 4 years. Okay. Let's take a quick look here. I'll come back to some of the comments here in a little bit. Next game for the Lakers, they host the Bucks. This is my fear with the game against Milwaukee. Milwaukee got their ass kicked tonight. And Milwaukee still has a lot to play for, too. They played at Golden State. So Milwaukee, first off, did us no favors tonight. Warriors run them out of the gym. What the hell's going on in the NBA? Basically, anybody can beat anybody. The Golden State Warriors lost by 52 points against the Boston Celtics a couple nights ago, whenever that was, I think on Sunday, 140-88. Then they turn around and they beat the Milwaukee Bucks by 35. What? How does that make any sense? None of that makes any sense to me. But my issue with this game with the Bucks, what happens when teams typically get, completely blown out? Especially a good team like the Milwaukee Bucks. Bucks right now, if you go look at the standings, they're tied for second in the East, or they have a half game lead on the Cavs. The Bucks need wins. They're going to try to get wins, and this game coming up against the Milwaukee Bucks, of course, it's going to be a tough one. And of course, the Milwaukee Bucks will probably adjust and try to use the Lakers as their opportunity to come back. And I know Chris Middleton didn't play in this one, so we'll see if Middleton plays in the next one. But you're going to get Giannis Antetokounmpo. You're going to get Dame Lillard. I'm just trying to look to see here. I think it was just Middleton that didn't play. Jay Crowder played, Brook Lopez, Malik Beasley, Bobby Portis. So they have their guys. Like I said, the only guy that didn't play was Chris Middleton, who's a key piece for them. I'm not underplaying that by any stretch of the imagination. But the Bucks are a little bit all over the place too. That's a team that also confuses me, and I guess this is part of the NBA. They beat the Clippers at home when beat the Clippers at home when Giannis wasn't there. Before they lost to the Warriors tonight, they had won 6 games in a row. So they didn't play the best competition, but the Bucks are going to give them their absolute best shot. That's just what typically happens. Giannis, an absolute beast. It's going to be Giannis versus Anthony Davis again. We've seen how AD has done over these last few games. Dame is a complete baller, so this would be an interesting matchup. We played them in the preseason. Was that a preseason game that we played them? Yeah, played Milwaukee in the preseason, and I believe for the regular season, it's the first time we play them all season long. So Dame's got a history with the Lakers all his years in Portland. This ain't going to be an easy game. I think I know that, and everybody knows that. Okay, a couple more comments, and we're going to call it a night. All right, see what we got here. Giannis getting 50. That's not good. Man, we're going to be in a win or go home game against Steph Curry. Freddie B, if it's not Steph because Golden State's playing a lot better, it's probably going to be Luka, right? And it could very well be Luka in Dallas with Kyrie. It could very well be that as well. So if it ain't Steph, it's not like Plan B is going to be all that much better. I think the problem with the Golden State Warriors, just as a team, as a unit, they're obviously just just naturally a really, really good team. Full strength said Lakers become now. No, I didn't say that. I actually don't mind if Chris Middleton plays. I'm a fan of Chris Middleton. But Chris Middleton did not play tonight against the Golden State Warriors. Yeah, didn't play tonight. All right, let's keep going here. Milwaukee Bucks are not that good, especially with Doc Rivers as coach, and are way overrated like the Lakers. Okay, that one's fair. That one's fair. What is the dynamic of this team when pressure is involved, when LeBron is on the team? D'Lo seems to be clicking, Austin too, but everyone else, including AD. Bron's doing his thing. I to be honest with you, the only complaints I have about Bron is when he doesn't hustle back on defense until I tell myself the guy is doing absolutely everything he can and is 39 years old. So I don't know if I'm going to target Bron in any of this stuff. These other guys, there is some ups and downs. Austin Reeves got some buckets at the end of the game. Didn't really matter. Rui did have a good night. It's just because the Lakers played so poorly, it was tough for me to bring that up. Okay, Lake fans, that's all I got tonight. We're going to call tonight 45-plus minutes. Lakers lose, obviously, to the Sacramento Kings. Crucial game, critical game. Need to have all these games. Didn't have it tonight. Up 19 to down 15 in 14 minutes of play. Just got ugly from there. So I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Thank you for hanging out. Always enjoy doing some post-game show action here. And thank you to Sammy in the background as well. Thank you, Lake fans. Appreciate it. Go have a good night. Tomorrow morning, I'll be back on radio, handling business on 710 ESPN. And then I'll catch you guys Friday night after the Lakers take on the Milwaukee Bucks. Thanks, Laker fans. Have a good night.